it's certainly the case that a lot of the things that we think we know about the internet are actually rumours. It's very actually hard to pin it down with observed fact. And this sort of ephemeral, well, V6 is faster than V4, V4 is faster than V6, very, very hard to pin down. So inside APNIC, what we have is this large-scale measurement system that actually utilises Google's ad network to actually give us up to 10 million tests a day coming from people's browsers back to our servers. And not only does it let us count the times that V6 and V4 are actually usable out there at the edge of the network, but we're giving the same experiment in different protocols. So you can actually look inside and go, which came faster? And what is this thing about performance? Now what we're able to measure is actually two parts of that. The first one is just raw speed. If we set off these two horses, the V4 horse and the V6 horse, which one comes to the finishing gate first? Now, interestingly, about 5 years ago when we first looked at this, the V4 horse was faster. Predominantly because at the time, V6 was tunnelled across V4. And if we've learned anything in the last 5 years is that tunnelling is evil. It just doesn't work very well. And so lately, as V6 has been deployed, it's being deployed directly on the wire in the same way as V4. And as well as that, the interconnections between providers are now dual protocol. So V6 doesn't go down the detour. V6 tends to be down exactly the same peers and transit links as V4. So that when we look at the spectrum, what we actually find now is instead of V6 being slower, if you're not tunnelling, no 6 to 4, no other tunnelling, if you're not doing that, you actually find it's very, very, very close. And around 44% of the time, it's faster, 56% of the time, it's slightly slower. But if you widen that out to actually allow about 10 milliseconds of variance, then you just can't tell them apart to that level. So the good news is raw speed works fine. However, there's one other subtle piece of performance. Whenever you get in your car and you go, I'm going to work, most of the time you get there, right? Now, sometimes you don't. Crash, whatever. The internet's much the same. That when we try and open a connection, most of the time it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And I was actually measuring the failure rate, the crash rate of connections. Now in V4, the crash rate's around 1 in 500 users. It's actually more than I thought. But it's a background level, 0.2%. In V6, exactly the same figure jumps up to almost 2%. 1 in 50 V6 connections don't seem to make it. Now, right now, in a dual protocol world, if V6 doesn't work, there's always V4. One leg's busted, use the other. But we're thinking about a V6 only world. And if we've got a 1 in 50 failure rate, that's not good enough. So there is some areas where V6 is lagging, and it's not about raw speed, but it's actually about the robustness of that connection. And that's the bit we need to spend attention on.